Welcome to Euro Bangla City SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. 1 minute blackout to mark Genocide Day tonight. The government is working for international recognition. Nation set to celebrate 52nd Independence Day tomorrow. Sava National Memorial ready to pay homage to heroic martyrs. Visitors barred from entering. Bangladesh voted Ukraine's proposal for humanitarian reasons without pressure, said Foreign Minister. World leaders came together for meetings. Today is March 25, National Genocide Day. At midnight on this day in 1971, the barbaric Pakistani invaders armed with sophisticated weapons attacked the unarmed Bengalis all over the country. The aim was to silence the Bengalis forever. Thus, it is rare in the history of the world for a sophisticated weapon to attack a person sleeping in the dark of night. Although the day of genocide has been neglected in the Bangladesh in the past, the present ruling Awami League has been observing the day with due dignity. In the context of the resolution passed in the National Assembly, the day of genocide has been celebrated nationally since 2016. The Ministry of Liberation War Affairs has decided to observe a nationwide 1-minute symbolic blackout exactly at 9 p.m. today, marking the Genocide Day. Tomorrow is March 26, the Great Independence Day. The National Memorial is fully prepared to be soaked with the respect and love of people of the walks of life. On this day, the pride and glory of the nation, millions of people will descend on the premises of the mausoleum. The day's programs will begin by heralding gun salutes early in the morning as a mark of profound respect to the heroic struggle of this nation. The National Martyrs Memorial at Savar will be the main venue of the celebration of the day, where the President Mohammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will place wreath early in the morning as a mark of profound respect to the memories of the martyrs. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said that the government is trying to change the history of the independence unilaterally. He said this while speaking at the press conference of the committee celebrating the Golden Jubilee of Independence at a BNP chairperson's office in Gulshan this morning. He also said that ordinary people want to know the exact history of liberation war, not to distorted history. Ziaur Rahman was the first to declare independence when Pakistani forces carried out genocide on the Black Night of the March 25. The Kalurghat station and the history of the liberation war are inseparable. He also said human rights are being violated as there is no democracy in the country today. Two people were killed in random shootings in Dhaka yesterday night. Victims were former General Secretary of Motizil Thana Awami League Jahidul Islam Tipu and a college student named Samia Afrin Priti, who was sitting in a rickshaw. The driver of the vehicle carrying Jahidul was also shot in the same incident. The incident took place in the area of the Amtola Mosque in Shahjahanpur of the capital around 10:15 last night. According to the eyewitnesses and police sources, the microbus carrying Jahidul was stuck in a traffic jam in Shahjahanpur area at the time of the incident, while out of a sudden, two miscreants wearing helmets started firing at the Jahidul's car from the opposite side of the road. Multiple shots were fired at the Jahidul's body. According to the police, Jahidul Islam is the accused in the murder case of Jubilee leader Rizal Haq Milki. After the incident, Dolly, the wife of the slain Tipu, filed a case with Shahjahanpur police station. Bangladesh has voted in favor of the UN General Assembly in resolving the humanitarian crisis caused by the Russian invasion of the Ukraine on humanitarian grounds. Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen said that Bangladesh has voted in favor of the Ukraine's proposal at the UN this time for the humanitarian reasons and not under any pressure. The vote was taken at an emergency session of the General Assembly at the UN headquarters on Thursday. Earlier on February 24, Bangladesh abstained from voting on another resolution in the General Assembly condemning Russia's aggression in Ukraine. However, this time Bangladesh voted in favor of ending the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. Now move on to the international story updates. World leaders came together on Thursday for back-to-back meetings for the G7, NATO and the US. US President Joe Biden at all three of them decided to bolster humanitarian aid to Ukraine and extend sanctions against Russia. He also said that America would react if Russia used chemical weapons. Dalia Nilufar brings the details.
World leaders come together for back-to-back NATO, G7, EU meetings to demand peace for Ukraine. First was to support Ukraine with military and humanitarian assistance, and second was to impose the most significant sanctions, economic sanctions regime ever, in order to cripple Putin's economy and punish him for his actions. Billions of dollars in humanitarian aid and military equipment are on their way. Other countries in the alliance are pitching in as well. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden said NATO would respond if Russian President Vladimir Putin used a chemical weapon in his war on Ukraine. US will also accept 100,000 refugees from Ukraine. The G7 also warned Russia against the use of biological, chemical or nuclear weapons in joint statement. The UN General Assembly also met to discuss the crisis. UNICEF reports that 4.3 million children, more than half of the total in Ukraine before the war, have been driven out of their homes. Almost three-quarters of the General Assembly, 140 countries, voted to demand aid access and civilian protection in Ukraine, while blaming Russia for the humanitarian crisis. The resolution was adopted Thursday, with 5 votes against, including Russia, Syria and North Korea, and 38 votes abstained, including China. Meanwhile, Ukraine and Russia exchanged prisoners of war for the first time. Dalia Nilufar, SATV News Desk.
Beijing welcomes Afghanistan's active participation in the Belt and Road Initiative, a global infrastructure plan proposed by China, and is willing to push for the extending the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) to Afghanistan. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said on Thursday as he made a surprise visit to Kabul. Wang met acting the Afghan Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi to discuss the political and economic ties, including starting work in the mining sector and Afghanistan's possible role in China's Belt and Road Infrastructure Initiative, said the Afghan Foreign Ministry. China was willing to promote the extension of the CPEC to Afghanistan, making the latter a breeze for the regional connectivity, said Wang. He also said China hoped Afghanistan would fulfill its commitment of not allowing any external forces to use its territory as a tool to oppose neighbors or harm the security of the other nations. North Korea says it test-fired its biggest intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM on the order of leader Kim Jong-un to boost its defenses and prepare for a long confrontation with the United States. State media reported on Friday. Korean state media said the weapon was launched from the Pyongyang International Airport, traveled up a maximum altitude of the 6,248 km. It flew a distance of the 1,090 km during a 67-minute flight before falling into the Sea of Japan. However, Kim Jong-un ordered the test because of the daily escalating military tension around the Korean peninsula and the inevitability of the long-standing confrontation with the US imperialists, accompanied by the danger of a nuclear war, said the report. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres announced on Wednesday a project to put every person on Earth on range of the early weather warning systems within the 5 years. This project, with the Geneva-based World Meteorological Organization, aims to make the alert systems already being used by the many wealthy countries available to developing nations. Guterres noted that the climate effects are getting worse, yet one-third of the world population, mainly in the least The developed countries are not covered by early warning systems. Such systems allow for the monitoring of the real-time atmospheric conditions on sea and on land for the predict upcoming weather events. Bangladesh could not win the Women's World Cup despite rising hopes. Bangladesh women lost by Australia by 5 wickets. The match started 2 hours later due to rain in the Wellington. Because of the rain, the 50-over match was reduced to the 43. After losing the toss, Bangladesh got off to the good start while batting. The first wicket came after 33 runs. However, after the 9th over, the batting disaster started. They lost 4 wickets for the 62 runs. Lata Mondol's 33 runs with Rumana Arm and 36 runs with Salma Khatun made the team's collection to the 135 runs. In reply, Australia fell in front of the Salma Khatun's bowling cannon. Salma sent the top 3 batsmen of Australia to the dressing room, only 26 runs. However, Beth Mooney's 66 and Annabelle Sunderland's 26 helped the Aussie women to an easy victory for the 5 wickets. Before ending, we go through Bangla City SATV News headlines again. 1-minute blackout to mark Genocide Day tonight. The government is working for international recognition. Nation set to celebrate 52nd Independence Day tomorrow. Sabah National Memorial ready to pay homage to heroic martyrs. Visitors barred from entering. Bangladesh voted Ukraine's proposal for humanitarian reasons without pressure, said Foreign Minister. World leaders came together for meetings. You are up to date with the Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.